Do we have Lion Tamers? Do we have any guests today? I think we do. I see some faces in the house. I don't know.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. We have several guests here. Isla has a couple, and so does Greg and Sula. If you would like to introduce your guests.
Josh Huff is our guest. David Breeze is our guest. Josh has an application in and he has been approved. David has turned in an application today, so the executive board will vote on him next week.
Did she say President Cheryl? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. You need to have them declare.
Yeah, okay.
Sign him in real quick.
Just a reminder, my name is Cheryl.
President Cheryl, I'm going to call you President Lloyd. Fellow Lions and guests. Yeah, I'm following the rules. Nobody said anything to me or anything. Steve didn't say anything to me or anything. This is Kirsten. She is my partner in community relations at Canterbury Inn now. So thankfully she's here now with me. So you'll see my face more often. I don't know if you're thankful for that or unthankful for that. But either way, I'm here.
All right, yay!
Cheryl, Lions and guests, I am now giving the microphone to Eric, who has to repeat what I just said.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. Joining with me is Keith Young and his wife Brittany Young is parking, so she'll be arriving shortly.
Yay! Great. Any others? Welcome all of our guests. Oh, we're not done. You have, that's the second time in 2 weeks I've cut you off, dude.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I have 3 guests today. We've got Carol Scott and her son Shannon Nordine and Jay Pruitt. Believe it or not, they're all related.
All right.
Anyway, we've already approved Jay and Shannon for membership, and we'll have Carol's application next week.
Welcome. Glad you're here. Now, anybody else have a guest? Okay. Well, before we get this thing rolling, I wanted to read you a quick note that we got from our Lion brother, John Morelli. He said, just a short note to say hello to all. It was a terrific return visit to Longview to see Jim Messina and so many other folks. Longview was such a part of my life for almost 14 years, and to see so many folks was very gratifying. It was especially good to see you in the audience, and I'm glad to renew my membership in the club. This letter, by the way, was addressed to our brother, Pat Palmer. As for Mary Kay and me, Tucson very much agrees with us, and we found ourselves busier than ever looking after our health. I work out twice a week and bike upwards of 70 miles weekly. There's a goal for you guys. Of course, the most strenuous activity is chasing around our 2-year-old grandson twice or thrice or more days in a week. The great Creator has been very good to us. 2 places in Longview will continue to get my support. Pioneer Lions, and of course the Columbia Theater. Roar out a greeting to all and take good care. Jean. Now, tail twisters.
We're ready.
Is anybody out there happy? Let's find out. Money, 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 money.
I can't go that high. Dwayne Smith.
President Cheryl, all Lions and guests, I'm $2 happy. And I went to Saturday, I went down to the Bald Eagle Festival down at Kaplamit, and it was great to run into one of our Lions who we never see here, Greg Prestegard, so he's still a member. And also, it was great to see Early Bird Lions helping out the Wakayakum Club with cattle corn, and they raised a lot of money for their local community.
Thank you, Dwayne. Mr. Kenny Terra. Kenny? You got some money? Stand up.
Stand up, Kenny.
President Cheryl, fellow lions and guests. I have 5 happy dollars.
Wow.
Marty and I are tickled pink to be back home after 5,003-mile trip in the car together. And I came home with a broken wrist.
And you both made it home
And Marty is
at the same
smiling,
time.
but we have seen some of the most beautiful country that God could give anybody as you travel through the states. What a terrific experience. Put the airplanes in the airport, get along and get to drive to see what is out there. It's awesome.
And you're still alive after she didn't kill you or anything? You're all in one piece. Oh, just the wrist.
I heard you're a bad driver. A really bad driver. Mr. Mark, it's your turn. I hope you drive better than he does.
No comment. I don't drive as bad as Hal, I can tell you that. That's a standard nobody's going to be able to top, so that's my usual $5 for the week. First, a sad dollar. I just kind of quietly referred to a procedure last week where they took a little bit of skin cancer off the nose. They were optimistic they got it all. Got news this morning they did not, so I will be going back in for additional surgery on that. Happy dollar, we have a poker group that's been playing, what, John, about 35 years together now. And I drove, and several of us went up north to Union, Washington. One of our members moved up that way. And it is a long drive, but think about the fact that monthly for our games, he drives down every week from there to our games in the Longview area. So it was fun to get everybody up there together. Can't say I won any money, but it was fun to get up there. Third, Facebook memories is a funny thing. Last night popped up a memory of Joe Johnson. His 96th birthday was 11 years ago on July 17th in 2012. Sharon Sisson baked the cake. 2 great lions that are no longer with us. For those of you who are newer, don't remember Joe Johnson, he was instrumental in getting our budget put together every year, and he worked his tail off at the fair, the beer garden, working sales typically for tickets. He's a great lion to be missed. Finally, last is the quote of the week. This is from Jeff Foster. Love is the answer. The question is unimportant.
Thank you. Mr. Pat Palmer, our illustrious treasurer.
Illustrated, I guess. President Cheryl, fellow lions and guests, so appropriate that Mark would mention Joe Johnson. I hope that someday I'll be half the lion that he would have been, that he had been, and his training was instrumental for us getting into a much better place. As I recall, he's the one that kept Terry Woodruff in check. The second happy buck is I spent 7.5 hours on Saturday in my lovely air-conditioned room. No, I was not wearing a Speedo, Dwayne. I was not. I was not. I know. That's why I was taking it off the table. Off the table. So I have all kinds of reports in I'm so geeky and nerdy that I have all kinds of reports in my little bag. So I would like to call Stephen of the press over here afterwards so that I can give you kind of a snapshot of what happened. The classification system's starting to work. Now, as long as I can keep up the level of detail, it'll work even better. Looking forward, third happy buck is looking forward to the fair. Making sure you guys understand that concerts in the park on Thursday are going to be happening both this week and next week during the fair, so we'll have 3 sets of folks out hawking our wares. We're doing darn good, folks. No need to edit. I won't give you numbers on camera. Fourth happy buck is that had a lovely weekend after I got done with that stuff with my child bride, and we just had fun together. It was just a great weekend.
fifth happy buck is that she's going to go out and have girls' weekend next weekend, and this next weekend the boys show up about on Friday or Saturday morning, probably more Saturday morning stuff, and we're going to have a lot of fun. On Sunday we're going to go waste a bunch of ammo out at the public shooting range. So it's going to be an absolutely stellar week. Thank you for all of you girls.
I still can't get that Speedo picture out of my head. I think I'm blind. Blind. Granny panties? Where?
Me.
Oh.
Oh, you know me?
No.
Oh, that's crazy.
This is a new girl.
I'm almost as crazy as Isla, but I don't know if I can top her. So 5 happy bucks. Oh, President Cheryl. Oh, she didn't help me. Whatever.
No respect.
1 to 1. 1 to 1. Yeah. We're going to keep track of this now. So President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests.
Yay.
I have 5 happy bucks. First, so as you guys know, I work for Canterbury Inn, and we are having a car show at the Delaware Plaza. We do our annual car show every year. This year it's on August 11th. So if you have a vintage car, an antique car that you would like to bring, I know we have some antique people, but you can't register that. Only cars! Only cars! You guys like to dish it out, so do I. So I gotta stay on Rick's level. So anyway, if you do have a car, we would love to have you register and love to see you there. It's going to be a great time. Friday, August 11th. So I do have forms for you to register your car. If you're interested, would love to see you. Also, we are sponsors. So if you are a local business owner, I'd love to be able to give you the information. If you'd love to be able to give a donation, it can be either an item from your business or it can be money, whatever you want to do. If you give $100 or more, you'll have like a trophy with your business name. We give awards out. You get to be one of the people that gives that award. So if you're interested, even just interested in potentially wanting to do it, I have some information. So, third happy buck. I wanted to thank Katie for doing such an amazing job at the beer garden. I was in here last week to say that. It was amazing, and it was my first time volunteering, and I had a blast with all of you, so thank you. I'm still friends with Rick on Facebook, even though I was with him for 4 hours. I didn't delete him. So I'm doing that as a 4th happy buck, that Rick and I are still friends. And then 5th happy buck, I am just happy to be here with you guys, and I was just telling Greg and Kirsten, as she's here shadowing with me and things like that, and she's training right now, is when I started here, I didn't know what Lions Club was going to be like, and honestly, you guys became like another family for me very quickly, so that's why you gotta, dish it out sometimes. So.
Little Missy had a birthday too. Let's give it to her. Only the way Lions know how.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sula. Happy birthday to you.
Still kettle corn at Safeway. That's all you have. Yeah.
You can stop talking.
And you pick apart newspapers. That's a different one.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I've got a mixed happy dollar here. This is a lot of crazy in here. So you newer Lions and Lions to be,
Well, you're my favorite.
you've just been inducted into the worst birthday song you've ever heard. It's very common in this room. Actually, I wanted to just say welcome to, I can't even remember. Kurt. I went blank. It's so good to see Kurt. I think you were here couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to wish you well. We're glad that you're still around, you know?
Thank you, Marilyn. Mr. Steve Patterson.
Mister.
Hey, thanks for the mister.
She has a lot of respect.
That's short for mister.
Thank you. President Cheryl, other Lions and guests, Happy Dollar will be heading to Lake Chelan this weekend to be with our children and work on our tans. And maybe I might take my fly rod with me this time.
Nice.
Okay?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mr. Terry Woodruff.
Little bit cool. Woo.
Thank you. Team Lions, Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I got a happy $5. Speaking of the trip up to Union, I was the lucky one to be in the very back for an hour and a half, sitting with Skip Mesker for one of them. So, you know, it was a really enjoyable trip. Anyway, by the time we all got out of the car, we could at least walk in after an hour of getting our bones put back together. Anyway, the other happy dollars is my daughter was in New York last week, and came home last week also, so that's the good part, that you can get home safe. A year ago, I was down in Denver celebrating my brother's 80th birthday, and which is today. His 81st is today. At any rate, all year long I've tried to shoot 80 for my golf score. And I got down to 81 or 82 once in a while. But today I did a little bit better. I had a hole in one today.
Wow, congrats.
I just had a hole in
And the illustrious John Claypool.
Patrick illustrated better. President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, the first part of this happy dollar is truly happy. That is the fact that Marchelle drove us up to Union and back. Fastest stick governor, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Don't rip it.
I didn't. Not yet.
You said the first half and you're folding it.
The second happy part is that before Showdown, I was one of the winners at $7. But that's a lot of money in our group.
Oh, how? You're always good for a buck or two or three.
First, President Cheryl, but what was that other name we're supposed to call you? President Owl? No.
Whatever.
No, whatever. Fellow Lions and guests, happy $5. First, I'm wearing my Sula, but I found out it's a Sula Marnie hat. Now, Sula Marnie, if this is really a Russian or whatever hat, why is it made in France?
You know, Russians like to,
Yeah.
Russians like to steal stuff.
Oh, okay. All righty, good.
I can say that, I'm Russian.
Yeah. And if you didn't know she was Russian,
Yes.
now you do. Second happy buck. There was somebody who was sailing with me who apparently isn't paying a happy buck today.
No.
Do I need to loan you a buck for that? Oh, okay. Well, my second happy buck is that we had this little swimming competition. The difference this time is I kept the boat right near him, and he took the boat away from me. So some of you might have been happy to know that I could float on my back, what was it, 20 minutes? What is it, 20 minutes? I could have felt like it. Oh, he thinks, what? Oh, I see. The next happy buck was that I'm helping my wife cut tree limbs, and my body hurts after a whole hour of doing that. Fourth happy buck. Well, there was something here that really caught my interest. Marnie, did you try to kill me while you were gone? Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of miles. I know my wife would kill me. And fifth, and the saddest buck of all, I won't be here next week.
You know, there's going to be be a lot of people not here next week, including me.
Were you guys
You're all fired.
Maybe
Hi, Eric. You're not fired.
Not yet.
Thank you, President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. Yeah, I had a great time on the sailboat. Only got a slightly sunburned, so good time.
Good time.
I'm glad you didn't say yay when I said I wasn't here next week, because you're my favorite.
How many favorites you around today?
Happy $5. President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. I have a rental in Kelso, which I never wanted. And Mark Kelch and Harold Malone helped me swap a dryer out and level the washer, and it was a mess. So thank you guys.
And Katie and Georgia.
Gonna rename the baby?
Is Georgia
Named after Raider?
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. I've been around you guys long enough to know when to keep my mouth shut. And never again will I tell these wonderful gentlemen who are sitting at my table that I enjoy sitting by myself, because in about 2 seconds they move their table over to mine. I did con them all out of also giving dollars though, so it's fine.
There you go.
Yay? Yay?
You have to stand up.
Yeah, you gotta stand
If I
up.
can't sit, you can't sit.
Where's your money?
I trained you as well.
Classmate, President Cheryl. We have $4 happy bucks for these 4 guys sitting here. We're just happy that we could sit with her today.
Yeah, right.
You could at least put the money in the bucket for us.
Somebody.
Right here. Oh, perfect. Sorry.
I thought you were slacking.
What are you gonna say next week, Steve?
Good job. President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. The first dollar here is from Shannon, my guest here today. He's just happy he came along and to be a part of this crazy club. The second buck, Marnie, how in the heck did you end up bringing him back with you?
You had your chance, girl.
You better talk to him. Cindy?
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I have some happy dollars and one mistrial dollar. I don't know what you'd call it. Did you know your dishwasher can be a lethal weapon? I was pulling candy jars out Saturday and I pierced under my nail on my little finger, right on the little plastic things that stick up. It took 2 Band-Aids, let's just put it that way. But I did can this weekend. I did 23 pints of green beans and 7 quarts of green beans.
All right.
Jim was leading me on going, why not just do 1 more canner load? That's not that easy. You have to time things. And it takes like an hour and a half to process 1 canner. So other than that, I've got a dining room table full of fresh green beans that have been canned from Farmer's Market. Went to Farmer's Market on Saturday and had a blast. They have so many fresh things in. Oh. Got my first fresh tomatoes and ordered some green tomatoes for next weekend for fried green tomatoes.
Are you gonna bring some?
I love fried tomatoes.
Okay, here come money, 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 money.
Where did you get $4 bucks?
I think we're done. Time to move on, darling.
Sit with her.
Time to move on, darling.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, good job, tail twisters. You're the best. Okay, we're going to move on now to our program, our monthly program and actually annual program wrangler, Larry Hansen, who's going to introduce our guest today.
President Cheryl, fellow land and guests, it's my pleasure to bring today our program, Marchelle Knapp from Campus Towers, administrator there. She's going to share with us a little bit about the new building that's going on and other things, activities there. So without further ado, I'll just turn it over to her.
Alrighty, well thank you. What I realized while all that was going on is that I do have a real connection to your group in that I'm probably one of your top 10 customers for the kettle corn at Safeway. So yeah, it is the best. So thank you, Larry. Thank you, President Cheryl, for inviting me today. I spend my days as the administrator at Campus Towers. And Campus Towers is a senior affordable housing community here in Longview. And so, do many of you guys know what Campus Towers is? Yeah? Okay. Well, I brought a picture just in case. So, it is the tallest building in Longview. It was actually constructed back in 1971. We are a ministry of North Lake Church. Back in the day, this small church came to Longview, and at the same business meeting, they agreed to build a school, which is now Three Rivers Christian School, and to build a retirement home. And so, definitely, the Lord was with them to take on two major projects like that in the same meeting. But they forever changed our community, and we are reaping the benefits as a community for that church early on, made up of young people that stepped out in faith for these two things. So what we've also done is, in the last few years, we purchased from the Peters an adjacent building, and it had a duplex on it, in which we've torn down that duplex, and that's where we're going to put in a new building, which we'll call Campus Cottages. So, a little bit about who we are. We're an independent, we serve independent seniors that are at least 62 years of age, and they're living on a fixed income. And so we currently have, between our Campus Towers building and we have what we call the Campus Commons building, we have 102 people that live in that 8-story building. And whoever did say it, we are the tallest building in Longview. We call ourselves the Towers because we also help you get all your cell phone coverage, because we have all the cell towers on the roof. So, yes. I think the original founders were thinking of another towers that would house people, but instead it's cell phone signals at this point. And our average age is 79. We're a very active group. We don't offer any health care, so I know Canterbury being here, they do a lot of the assisted living, things like that. What we provide is just safe, affordable housing. And then we also have a full-service restaurant, we have a bus, and we do activities, but we don't provide any health care. So that's the difference. Our rents in the towers are income-based, ranging anywhere from $379 to $652. So it really fits in that affordable range. And then that also includes all utilities. So there's no PUD bills, there's none of those things. Yes?
What income range does your rent represent? I mean, from 5,000 to 15,000 or what?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We serve residents that are on that. For Cowlitz County, they determine the area median income. And so the lion's share, funny, of our residents fall into that 60% range of the median income. So what does that mean? That most of our residents are living on about anywhere from $1,500 a month up to $2,400, $2,500 a month. We have a few outside of that, but for the most part, that's the niche that we serve in Longview. So we have 89 apartments in the Towers building. We have 7 in the Commons building. Commons building has some 2-bedroom units as well as 1-bedrooms. And like I said, we were founded by North Lake Church in 1971. And over 1,500 of Longview residents, Cowlitz County residents, have called Campus Towers at home. So that is the people that we're serving. But as you know, everybody's talking about affordable housing, right? Like that is, and when I took this job in 2016, just to give you an idea, you know, we would run a little ad in the Daily News, and you know, we just kind of plugged along. Once in a while, we'd have 1 or 2 people waiting to move into Campus Towers. But what's happened since 2016 to today is that has mushroomed, and we probably have somewhere around 200 people waiting to live at the Towers. It's at least 3 years for a bedroom unit. So what happened is rents have escalated and seniors are finding themselves struggling to make ends meet. So we can go ahead and move forward. So according to the American Society on Aging, the fastest growing homeless population in the United States is seniors, 65 and older. By 2030, their numbers will triple. So that's really got, I mean, that gets our attention, that got our board's attention. And of course, like I told you, just even, you know, you hear those statistics, but then I can validate to you, you know, I'm looking at a 3-year waiting list. And when you're, you know, looking for affordable housing and you're a senior, 3 years can feel like eternity. So what's causing this crisis? According to the Social Security Administration, as of February 2023, the average monthly Social Security payment is $1,693.88. So that's the average. Fair market rents in our county in 2023 is $891 for a 1-bedroom apartment. So you can see the math right there, right? And that's just the key to the door. That doesn't include your utilities, your PUD, grocery, you know, all your living expenses. So you can see that's why it's a math problem that is causing this. The other significant thing that I have experienced or have kind of seen, and I haven't ferreted it out to statistic-wise, but long about 15, 20 years ago, the pension system completely changed in our country. So what happened is a lot of companies went away from a defined pension benefit where if you worked at Weyerhaeuser and you've been there for 25 years, you could expect that you would have your health care and you could expect that you would get a pension check for the years of service. What happened is we came up with a new strategy called the 401k plan, where you've got the Roth in retirement plan, and this isn't a conversation what's better or worse, it's really just that things changed. But I think what happened is we missed a little bit of the conversation with the workers, because if you were struggling to make ends meet, let's say, and your employer said, hey, if you put in 5% of your pay, we'll match that and give you 5%, and that'll go into a retirement account, so when you retire, you're going to have money. But you had maybe a young guy, 30 years old, and he's like, man, we're just trying to make ends meet. I don't think I can afford to do that. So they skipped doing that. So what's happened is we're seeing so many people now
getting to retirement age, and they're going, oh wait, I was expecting Social Security was going to be enough for me to cover my expenses. And then to make matters worse, if you're a couple, one of the spouses die, then a big chunk of the monthly income that you receive also goes away, because Social Security, you get either the larger of the Social Security benefit. So I think that's also contributed to where we're seeing. And so we're in a pickle. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. We need to be thinking about more housing, especially for this demographic of seniors. Because it's not like the 30-year-old that can go out and get a job. And yet we're seeing seniors working longer and longer into their retirement years, but eventually that doesn't work. And so at some point or another, there's an issue. So what do seniors do? They move in with their kids. They rent rooms from people. RVs are the big thing. I see people in rundown RVs. It's not a good situation. But that's what we're having. So how do we solve this crisis as a country, as a community? How do we do that? We need to desperately raise the number of affordable housing units in this community and probably every other community that's out there. Because this is a nationwide problem. It's a Washington problem. It's a Longview problem. It's a county problem. And then I think there's another thing that we need to do, just from being on the front lines. And I should share, I have the privilege of serving on Housing Opportunities of Southwest Washington, the Housing Authority. I'm their chair. So I kind of get to see my own little scope of the world at Campus Towers, but I get to see the broader community and what's happening in housing. And so there is an understanding that we need to know, and it goes back to that statistic of the fastest growing homeless population. We need to understand that homelessness affects many demographics, not just the person that's camping out of the park. There's a large homeless senior population right here in Cowlitz County. I help people. I'm moving a lady in just here in the next few days that is living in very substandard housing, and she's paying like 60% just to cover her rent, and her landlord just gave her $100 rent increase. So you can imagine, I mean, she's now on the street if she doesn't come to the towers. So it is a big issue, and I always feel like the unfortunate thing is that when we think of homelessness, a lot of times our picture is that which feels like the blight of our community, or it's the person running around the streets that maybe it isn't homelessness, but it's a mental health situation, but they happen to fall into that bucket with the rest of the people. But there's a large homeless population that are in that demographic of 62 and older. So I think understanding that and knowing that, and always reminding yourself, I mean, I live this every day, and I have to check my own thoughts and think, oh wait, it is a bigger issue, and just because the face of homelessness is the person that we say is camping under the gazebo, it really is much larger than that. And so the other thing that I would ask and say is that, and I know I appreciate some of you here, running for city council, and I appreciate our local government leaders, because a lot of this lands on their doorstep. And I know that everyone has got skin in the game and really trying to solve to how do
how do we deal with this in our community? Because it's here and it's just grown and it's become a big issue. So I think the other thing that we can do being here in this room is that we can advocate and support more affordable housing for our community, because it will make our community healthier. And it will serve those seniors with dignity in those years. They didn't do anything wrong. I had the opportunity to speak in front of the city council. They raised a small percentage of the sales tax, and I got to speak to our demographic. And, you know, it's heartbreaking that somebody didn't do anything wrong. They've never so much as got a parking ticket. They've raised their kids, they've contributed, they've been taxpayers, and they got to this place, and all of a sudden maybe their spouse dies and they're trying to make it on $1,600 a month, and some of them it's a lot less than that. So they didn't do anything wrong. And so I think that as a community we have the opportunity, and that's certainly things that we can get behind to make our community healthier. So what are we doing at Campus Towers? So I'm so excited because our board of directors got on board and said, what can we do? What can we do? And we're a nonprofit, so we don't have a big bank account. We said, let's do what we can. And so we had bought that property, and it had an old duplex. It's on the corner of 20th and Olympia Way. So we tore it down, and we're building a new 8-plex. It'll be 1-bedroom units, which will be income-based. And so I don't know if any of you know Dr. Jim Conrad. He has been a champion, and he came to me and he said, we got to do something. And so he chairs our capital campaign, and we've been raising money to pay for this. We can go ahead and go for it. So here's where we're at with our project. I always laugh because it's affordable housing, and yet there's nothing affordable about building affordable housing. Construction is very expensive, but I am so touched that we have gotten the support of our community behind us. We have raised, through our capital campaign, to date, we've had over 101 individuals give donations, and many more than one, $393,000 towards this project. So I just think that's pretty amazing. We were lucky and fortunate to receive a grant from Cowlitz County for affordable housing, $752,000, which, again, when we saw the numbers on what this was going to take to build, I was like, oh my goodness, how does this work? And yet, you know, God has been faithful, this community has been faithful. We were able to secure a discounted interest rate on permanent financing, so we'll have a small loan to cover what we can, because again, we have affordable rents to pay for the housing. And then we're still praying for that additional $200,000 for the project. We'll figure out how to get it done, but that's kind of where we're at based on our capital campaign. So it's just been amazing. You know, when you step out in faith, and I can tell you, we did not have the money when we started this, but yet God has been faithful, and you all as a community have been faithful. So we are expecting that we will get occupancy in early 2024. So as you can imagine, we've already got so many people interested in living in those, so we're working through those details. But we will be adding to the housing stock for affordable housing. I can tell you that out on 38th in Pennsylvania is a big project, and that has also gotten a lot of community support. It's called Sunrise Village that the Housing Authority is building. They're looking at several other projects. So there are answers coming to this crisis. They're never fast enough, but they are, things are happening. And we're playing all our part in in that solution. Any questions? Yes.
Why don't you build up instead of out?
You know, that's a great question. Why don't we build up instead of out? We really looked at what we could do with the property that we had, and because we serve independent seniors, we also have to allow for parking, and we're kind of wedged in that little spot there. There just isn't enough space to build up. And if we did build up, we could only build up like 3 or 4 stories, but then we need to add an elevator. And once you start to add an elevator, all of a sudden your costs go up, so you've got to really scale it. So we would need another 8-story building to try to scale what we have. And, you know, who knows? It's not something that we currently have planned, but I know that it's on the hearts of a lot of our board to do everything we can. Yes?
Is there any couples that live there?
Yeah, great question. We do. We have 7 couples in the building right now, and that sort of ebbs and flows. We're kind of on the lower end. We usually have about 10 couples. Yeah. But a lot of times, one of the things that would bring people to the towers is the home becomes too much, or a spouse passes away. So that's also people that come to live with us. Yes.
So aren't you kind of constricted because of the fire? Like the fire truck? Does the city own one big enough to reach top floor?
Yeah, so we're really lucky at Campus Towers. We know our fire department really well. They train in our building. And so that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I think obviously codes change and things like that. And so that would definitely be one of the things that would be a consideration, building another tower, what kind of space and access and things like that. We do have a sprinkler system in the building, and so that's also a blessing. And it's all concrete, so the fire department tells us it's pretty darn safe because of the concrete. Yes?
Well, first I want to say it's really amazing what you guys are doing, because obviously we see the need and it's tremendous. I have people that call me and they're in that situation where they're independent, but they're not able to go towards like my community or other sister communities, so I do refer them to Campus Towers. I did not, however, know the wait list is 200 people, so that's hard to hear that, it's really sad, especially as you've seen, I'm sure, all the time. Some people are in need urgently. My question is, like I said, send people to Campus Towers in terms of giving them your number and so they can connect with you guys. Is there any other nonprofit that does the same around here, or are you guys the only one?
For the services that we offer, I think we're really unique in that, and I don't know of another one. I know there are some senior affordable housing communities. Again, they're just a little bit different, and a lot of the way the housing authority works too is with a voucher system, so that people live in their house or rent an apartment from whoever, and then the housing authority helps to make that affordable for them. But specifically where one community, I think we're a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
A good unique.
I see about 1.3 million in donations to the government grants. Does that cover the entire cost of the project?
No. The total cost of the project is, it's always sort of bounces around, but we're really looking at almost 2.3 to build it.
That's why people like us can't build those for you.
Well, that's it. There's no private developers. There's no money in building affordable housing. So, and it's not inexpensive. Even though we have a small footprint, you still have to have bathrooms. You still have to have all of the, kitchens, things like that. Yeah. Okay. How are we doing on time, Marlene?
It's time.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Marchelle, thank you for coming to speak to us today, and for being our speaker today. We have this highly coveted Longview Pioneer Lions mug for your favorite beverage, and tucked inside is an application for in case you decide in your spare time you want to come and join our happy band.
Thank you.
I might come just for middle form. There you go. Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Okay, sunshine report. Do we have anything? I thought I saw a card on the back table there. I have it up here. Don't forget, our third summer concert is coming up on Thursday evening this week at Lake Sacagawea. We need volunteer helpers, and that's just the first of the next couple of things that are coming up. Sharon, you want to tag onto that and talk about the fair and rodeo and concert?
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. The rodeo and the concert are almost here, and we are going to have one day that overlaps, and that's going to be Thursday. And this is our last big push for the summer. It's 4 days, and the sign-ups aren't looking that great right yet, so it would really be nice if people would get on there and sign up. I know a lot of people like to just show up, but if we have you sign up, then we're not freaking out thinking, oh no, what are we going to do? We don't have people signed up. So it really helps us if you would just sign up.
Carrie?
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests. This is your reminder that we have a board meeting every second and fourth Thursday. So the next board meeting is at 8 a.m. July 27th, which is next Thursday at Cascade Title. So make sure you put that on your calendars. It's for a board meeting, but the Lions are welcome as well.
Cindy?
We should have just passed the microphone.
Yeah, there you go.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, here's something critical you need to know, especially you newer members. Anytime you're at a work party, track your hours, turn those hours into rows. If you bring a family member or a friend and they volunteer, give her that information as well, because we do get credit from LCIF for doing that. So please keep track of your hours.
That would also apply to community service done outside of Lions.
Yes.
If it's community service, it's community service, and we can count it. So, let's see. I would like to remind you quickly that we still need program chairs for the months of September, March, and April. So if you're inclined to talk to people, you know people out there in the community, that you know people that know people, and would make great, interesting programs for us, please sign up as a chair. You only have to do 3 programs a month. So sign up for a month. Let's see. I think you got, oh, Terry?
Is that a hole in the back of your pants, Terry?
That's another home today.
Is it a hole in one?
I've got another pair at home, it's just like it. Anyway, President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, I have a meeting, awards committee meeting after this meeting over there, somewhere underneath the roof, inside. It'll be short.
Okay.
Just like my whole.
All right. Marilyn, would you like to talk to us about the new district roster? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
President Cheryl, fellow Lions and guests, our district is a recipient of a complete club roster. And so for $5, when it's out, anybody can purchase it. So I have an envelope if you're interested in it. Our club will be listed in there, and if you wonder how to call our new members, if they're in there, in the, my LCI, they'll be listed as well, so we can reach out to them. Anyway, I will be selling these, and as soon as I get a copy of one, I'll share it with you. We have some sponsorships that help support it, so it's pretty reasonable at $5. That includes our entire new district, and that is a little under 80 clubs, so that's kind of cool.
Great. Okay. Katie, I think you had something you wanted to share?
For September 8th. The Centennial Committee is doing a street dance, I don't know what all they're doing, a drone show. It's at the Civic Circle. Anyways, Arlene reached out to me and asked if I would help put together a small beer garden for them, which of course I said yes, and September 8th is 2 days before my due date, so I actually won't be there, but I will make sure that everything is done beforehand. Bob has so graciously said yes to having the chuck wagon there as well, so we're gonna need help. Yeah, I know. No, I heard that. I have good hearing. I can hear that. So anyway, September 8th, and I'll make another announcement at some point, but.
Mr. Secretary, how's our state of senility? All right, we're doing better, even me. Okay. Now, all right, for the good of the order, a couple of words to ponder. Hey, listen, I'm still in charge. William James said, "Act as if what you do makes a difference." It does. Have a great week.